Okay, now we're going to learn about function notation. If you turn to page 14 in your 4647 packet, this is where we discuss function notation. Now, function notation is just a different way of writing an equation. So we're used to seeing equations written as y equals 3x minus 7. That's in slope-intercept form. This can be written in function form by writing it as f of x equals 3x minus 7. So this is read as f of x, saying that a function of x, f of x. So y equals 2x plus 4 can be written as f of x equals 2x plus 4. Y equals negative 4x minus 5 can be written as f of x equals negative 4x minus 5. So you'll see the only difference is instead of using a y, we use f of x. Now why do we do this? Well, if you remember from way back starting in chapter 1, we would say that y is a function of x. The value of y depends upon the value of x. Therefore, y is a function of x. So instead of calling y y, let's just call it a function of x. Now, if you're given the equation y equals 3x minus 7, and I ask you find the value of y when x equals 7, you would say, okay, I'm going to plug in a 7 for x. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 minus 7 is 14. Y equals 14. Okay? So, now, the advantage of using function notation is, here, we say y equals 14. Is it clear to us what x value gave us y equals 14? We could look back into the problem and figure it out, but just looking at y equals 14, it's not clear. Let me show you how you can write the same thing in function notation. If you know f of x equals 3x minus 7, to ask the same question, to ask, find the value of y when x equals 7, all you have to write is this. So f of 7 means, what is the value of this function when x equals 7? So wherever we see whatever's inside here where there was an x, we now plug into this part a 7. So we say 3 times 7 minus 7. So f of 7 equals 14. Now, not only was it easier for us to ask the question, but when you look at the answer, f of 7 equals 14, it's obvious to us that when x was 7, y, or the function, the whole value is 14. So this answer actually gives us an ordered pair. And this is the advantage of function notation. For every answer, you get an x and a y. Okay? So that's the reason we use it. Now let's go over some examples. Again, on page 14, we see f of x equals 3x minus 7. And then it says f of 7. Again, that means what is the value of this function when x equals 7? Now I plug in whatever was here, x is 7, I plug in this x. So 3 times 7 minus 7, so f of 7 equals 14. And again, that ordered pair would be 7, 14. f of 2. This means what is the value of this function when x equals 2? So I plug in a 2 for x, and f of 2 equals negative 1. So when x is 2, y is negative 1. Then we have f of 10. And again, this means what is the value of this function when x equals 10? So I plug in a 10 for x, and f of 10 equals 23. So again, the ordered pair would be 10, 23. So function notation is used when you want to clearly see which x value gave you a specific y value. Okay? So now, let's do the problems on the bottom of page 14. So, if I give you the function f of x equals 3x plus 2, I want you to find f of 6. That means wherever I see an x, I plug in a 6. So 3 times 6 plus 2, f of 6 equals 20. So the ordered pair is 6, 20. Now if f of x equals 2x minus 2, this says find the value of the function when x is negative 2. I plug in negative 2 for x, and f of negative 2 equals negative 6. So the ordered pair is negative 2, negative 6. Now you can also use different variables. G of x and h of x are used often. 1/2 x plus 7. So find g of 8. So I do 1/2 of 8 plus 7. That's 4 plus 7. G of 8 equals 11. So the ordered pair is 8, 11. So you can use f of x, g of x, h of x. You can use really any variable, but f, g, and h are used the most often. So let's turn to page 15, and we'll do 4 and 5. So here we have h of x equals 4.2x minus 3.7. Find h of 2. So h of 2 would equal 4.2 times 2 minus 3.7. So h of 2 equals 8.4 minus 3.7. That's a 14, that's a 7. We get 4.7. So the ordered pair would be 2, 4.7. Then f of x equals 3x minus 7. Find f of 1/2. That would be 3 times 1/2 minus 7. So f of 1/2 equals 3/2 minus 14/2, because negative 7 is the same as negative 14/2. And this answer, f of 1/2, would equal negative 11